Hi everybody, good morning. I'm doing this room detecting web DDoS. It's a premium room, so yes, if you don't have subscription, you can read about it. We have a lab too. We have a log file. We have Splunk instant. We're starting just now when you arrive to lab before the last task. Now this room is detecting web DDoS attack, explore denial of service attack, detecting technique and strategies for protection. Denial of service DOS attack can take many forms, but their ultimate aim is to disrupt or completely block access to website or web service. In this room, you will explore how DOS and DDoS attack target application layer. Objective, for example, learn how denial of service attack function, understand attacker motives behind disruptive attacks, see how web logs can help you reveal signs of web DOS and DDoS, get practice analyze denial of service attacks through log analysis, discover detection and mitigation technique defender can use. A prerequisite, yeah, not necessary, but it's good to have some kind of Splunk basic, essential web application basic, and security principle. Let's start this room. I will go through mostly, will pass by the labs. Uh, if you have subscription, you can read about it. If you don't, you can read in the screen. Task 2 is DOS and DDoS attack. At this core, denial of service attack are meant to overwhelm a website or app so that people can't use it. That's exactly the goal. When this happens, customers can't log in, shop, or access services, and businesses lose money and trust. Have you ever tried to visit your favorite website only to watch an endless load or force through a repeat capture challenge? A DOS attack can be launched against different layer of system. We are more interested in layer 7, like website and things like that. Okay, denial of service, you have the attacker, for example, send a malicious request to DOS and web server, service unavailable, your broken app where you have 503 internal server error and something like that. Any DOS attack, whatever small or large in scale, is considered successful if it prevents web service from functioning. So it's not need to be million. If it's thousand and stop the web server, it means it's got. The other type of DOS, of course, distributed. This one is a larger. So you have the attacker, you have a bootnet, so more mini computers, many different IPs. They all shot to the same web server. The limitation of a basic DOS attack is that it relies on a single machine and a single internet connection. While one computer can generate many requests, its impact is capped by its CPU. To scale up, attackers turn to distributed denial of service attack and utilize botnets, an army of compromised devices under their control. The computers, uh, IoT devices, and even server often infected. That's why malware get infected and then they use it as a botnet. For example, here is some type of denial of service attack. We talk about Slurlaris, sending many partial HTTP requests, HTTP flood, sending a large number of HTTP requests to overwhelm the server, cache bypass, bypassing CDN edge servers, and forcing the original server to respond, oversized query, forcing the server to process large resource intensive requests, login form abuse, overloading authentication logic with login attempt and password reset, fully input validation abuse, and exploiting poorly designed input handling. Now, for example, what class of attack relies on disrupting the availability of web service? This is what exactly the denial of service attack. So, what do we call the network of compromised machines that attacker use to launch a DOS? That's a botnet. Of course, the motive of the attack is different things. They can be political, they can be economic, they can be just disrupt. It can be, for example, financial loss, disrupt service to stop, reduce sale of revenue. For example, Christmas for hacker to attack increase around the holidays. Extortion. They can do extortion, threatening a bank, ransom DOS. For example, what is a ransom DOS attack? You can read about this if you have. Hacktivism, disrupting for social and political protest. So this one is more about election, things like that. Distraction, redirect, defend the attention while other attack take place. So it means let me attack something, or users go to that side, and then the real target will be the other side. Competition, disrupt the rival service to drive up their cost or gain market share. Denial of wallet, force the victim to rack up services used as cost. Reputational damage, cause customer lose this trust of the company. For example, in the wild, they have, for example, Eve. They give an example of the BBC 2015, a victim of a DDoS attack that took its website offline. The site reader could not access article for several hours. The group that claimed responsibility knew it. Hacking say it carried out the DOS simply for the test of its capabilities. 2023, Microsoft experienced a large-scale Layer 7 DOS attack. The activism group Anonymous Sudan. So this is more about hacktivism. Let's do a quick question so we can arrive to labs. Which attacker motive aim to make customer lose confidence in a company? This one relate reputational damage, so it's direct. Which motive likely? Microsoft 23. It's more about activism or hacktivism. Why we call the technical term hacktivism? Log analysis. Web server logs, that's for example the first lab we're doing, is more about the log, valuable source of evidence, for example, high request from certain IPs, IP range or something, to certain IP, for example, in this case, login endpoint. You look for also user agent, you find Python, Lib3 or curl or things like that, like not a normal what a normal user will use. You get geographic anomalies, for example, IP address origin dot around the world, best timestamp like 50 requests in 1 second, like search endpoint, for example, server error, especially the 500 to the 511 unavailable and things like that. Logic abuse, like for example, high-end limits, for example, attack crafted queries that overload the server, forcing it to load a huge amount of information and slowly it down for everyone. For example, it target resources, login, search, API, endpoint. Log sample, for example, you take this one, for example, you can see the normal request, then we see here like a whole bunch in the same endpoint. For example, here you can see from the same IP, and then we have the agent curl. So basically you see the anomalies, like what happened on a normal case and then what happened in an attack. For example, now we have an example. Let's go to zoom in, zoom in. They tell us it's in the desktop. Let's do access. So if you start here, you can see a window, different endpoint, product. You have Mozilla, the normal user agent, and then if you scroll down, you can see the change. Something happened here. The timing is very close, like 59:59. It's like it's very fast requests here, not like a normal website with a different minute. Here is like straightforward, and you can see the same agent curl. We have curl hitting the login page, and we have the time is very short. It's like, why are they coming too fast? And then here it look like it's stop. So here you can see this, all this part, this, it's clearly an attack. So if you look, for example, what is the attack IP address, you can guess this all is anomaly. So you can pretty sure you can see this is the IP of the attacker, and we can see is attacking the login endpoint. And then after the attack, what error code do legitimate user receive? Because if you look after the attack, even in the attack you have 200, 200, 200, 200, but after overwhelming the server, here the server start crashing in 403. So it get over 3, and then the legitimate user, when they came, even they also got 503, 503, 503. So they can't access the server because the server was overwhelmed and, you can say, crashed or something. 503. No leveraging SIEM. Secure Information Event Management. SIEM platform make a long arrays form more efficient by providing the ability to combine multiple log source. Yeah, if you use the Splunk Mini TryHackMe rooms, for example, normal request, we have a DOS attack, 1,000 requests to login page, login.php page within 1 minute time frame request. For example, here they give us using, for example, command time shot, span 1 minute, count by URI, things like that. Sorry guys. Uh, we have this. We have also looking by using the top command to get user agent and user agent client IP, and then hold a hand on each time your website experiences suspected DDoS attack. You will use Splunk to investigate what happened. Okay, we done with this. So let's get our friend Splunk. Open Splunk and send user shortcut on your desktop. During this exercise, you will analyze the web access log collected during the suspected attack period. These logs contain a mix of normal user traffic and potential malicious requests. To begin, open search and reporting app Splunk and run search in the main index. Okay, the main index. On the left side of the GUI, you will see the fields you have been extracted from the log file. So we have a main indexed. Okay, cool. We have our Splunk is starting. Sorry guys. Okay, we have the time range is already defined to all time. We can follow index equal main. Okay, this one is a small 2500 unit. Let's see if we can make this bigger. No, we have Splunk, so we have here we have bytes, date, our indexed, our source type is access combined. Request method, we have to get and post, that's a normal for websites. This is no. We have states code, we can see the 503, it's also a lot. We have the URI, we can see here, it's already give you, because Splunk usually will give you the top, so you can already see, for example, what was the most frequent request URI. You can be, without query you can see it, because Splunk has these top 10 values. So you can see search point is already has too much, 2068, most all of them. URI path, I think it's be the same things value. But you can say you can follow this room if you follow the same things. For example, this is time shot span 1 minute, or use the top a user agent client. We can think, oh, let's just use because we know the URI, we can just say uh, if you say use the top command on URI, for example, and it give you the search point. You can also use for example, count as requests that requests but by the user, by for example URI. So we can't buy URI in this time. We can sort if we want by requests. It means this by the count, and we can get the same things. We can get the search point. The search point is the one that has the attacker was targeting. So we can be fairly sure that the attack it happened in the search. So because we know in the search, we can just narrow down now our why it give me already the answer. Okay, so we now know this. You can say this pretty sure. We can say we can even go if we want to meet table, we can do the time. We can do client IP, and we can see user agent. Let's see what happens if we do this. You can see the IPs, the time is very close. You can see the timing is would give you a high chance is a DOS attack, and you can see the URI, the user agent. That's not a normal user agent. So you can say in the IP you can see they are the same from subnet like 203.0.1.13. You can see they are there. We can even visualize this thing. Where is it? What happened here? Uh, but why my visualize doesn't work? Any case, let's do the same. What is top? Do we need top user agent? Top user agent. Top. Yeah. We can do, for example, URI search through the top user a you no not agent user uh, user agent and client IP. Let's do no, that one doesn't exist. Now we have something. User agent. So we can see the user agent Apache bench. That's a very funny result. Remove this client IP. I think is the way they. So when you put the two, you combine them. It's if you want only user agent is better to search by one. Let's follow the rule. Uh, so we got the endpoint. Then which client IP made the most requests to the URI, the target URI? Yeah, we can say we can do top client IP. Let's see. I'm typing now today wrong client IP. So the client IP is this one. So it is the statistics. The most one is this one, 203.0.13.7. That's the one that has highest. Let's copy this. Let's make sure it's that. Can we do a different way? What we can do is how about stats? We'll do stats count as let's say hits, for example, the by client IP. and then we can sort by the hits requests. Yeah, we can get the IP. It's same. So we got, that's the IP that making all the noise, the biggest one for the search. So we can get that one. Now, how many IP addresses were part of the botnet that attacked your website? What this one can give us? Top, not distinguish. This one is the timing. What we can do? Distinguish IP. What the question again? How many IPs? So we need to remove the repeat. For the repeat, we need to do DC client IP. No, not stats. Stats DC client IP. Uh, let's call it as bootnet. Bootnet attacked your website. OT bootnet IP. Uh, um, count as let's see total. Let's see what we get here. It give me 60. So we have 60 of them. Let's see, confirm the answer quickly. Okay, let's see these IPs. So we have distinguished IPs as bootnet IP. So we have 16 of them. Uh, let's get the values of client IP as that one we call it bootnet. Let's call this one bootnet, and I don't know what to call it. Bootnet. Oh, we can see now the IPs, and you can see the range of them. We can use this one later on. You can see 2030. That's most. So we have a total 2068. So we have a unique IPs are 60. So we can be safe to say that's the 60 value. Which user was most commonly used? We already did this one when we did uh, top user agent, and you can see here the top is what the count is the Java. We don't need to go fancy in this one. What we can, how about okay, let's not complicate. Let's do the use time chart command to visualize a request. What is the peak number of requests made per second? Where is that command? This one it did 1 minute, so we do in per second. So we do your research. What the question again? Time chart. Um, span in our case 1 second. Count by URI. Uh, count by URI. Let's do limit. We don't need too much. Let's limit 5. why time chart? What did I type? So you look from the time, you can see by second. The top one is 207. You can visualize it here. So there's a couple of them in 207. So 207, 207, 2. So the peak is 207, and we can be sure of this. 207. I'm getting a bit confused. We can do something else if we want. We can do continue. That's we use the bin that find things. We can get a time span equal 1 second, and then we just do the stats as usual. The count by the time. This one, what it give me? Yeah, you can see it give you the same as the chart. You use this usually in Splunk, because to do continue time to 1 second, and you can get to 207. The same thing as a visualization. Let's do the pi one, and you can see 206, 207, 207, 207. So you can see it's there. Now the last question, it's which legitimate no attacking client ABI received the first 503 response status post attack. Now we can say, let's do this. We have search. We can do status. Is there status somewhere? Status equal. I think this is status 503. Okay, status 5.3. Let's get a table. Let's what we need. We need a time. We need um, let's do a client IP, user agent. We get to URI, because we need to distinguish which one. User agent, a client IP. Let's see what this one give me. So the question is, the timing is going. You see, this one is. Uh, so we know this mean after the attack. After the attack, it mean after these things. The attack, we know it's target the search agent, the search, and why we remove this. You don't need, because we need to see what happened after the search. So we just need to look for the part of the legitimate, the search part. Where's that search things? Or if you want to get normal, you just change the time. You make it after the I forgot when. We can do the time, but we don't. We can solve it simpler way. You just look for the search part of it. Where's the search? Yeah, you can see the search here. You can see the time 12. So we can see all this is the attack. This is the attack. This is still the attack. I'm going backward. Oh no. So now we finish the attack. So we now look at the timing. I'm getting confused now. Sorry guys. Uh, what's the time here? 42. Oh, it jumped straight to 142. Uh, getting confused now. Why the order look funny? Because now we have 112, then straight 113. You can see this is the next one. Why the time? Let's do this. This is confusing me. The sort. Yeah, it's sort by time. Give me the question that was changed. There wasn't a question before like that. There was very funny question here. I think they changed the question when we solve it. What's the time? 42. That's the latest. Where's that endpoint of the search endpoint? Oh, that's the search. So we have 112. Still the search. Where is the last search endpoint? Twelve, 13. So after the search is this end. You can see this is the one that after it. So if you go number 9, you can see that's the attack. So the idea is to look for user agent. You can see this one is the attack for agent. If I go to the next table on the bottom here, you can see the contact, and now you can see the agent is not the attacker agent. The IP also is not, because remember that IP we can see it's have the same pattern. They are in 203, 203, 203, 203. So after that, we can see the next one was contact endpoint. Look like normal exchange. We can see the browser is a Chrome. So this is the first IP that happened before the attack was signed. This is a normal user. It's not part of the IP. The IP is 1010. This is look like a normal IP, and that's where the attack end. The attack end here, because all the IP are 203. You can get, this is the last time for the attack. It used this one, and the next one is normal user. This is normal user. Now all the users they starting getting the server unavailable with states code 503. I hope that's a simpler way to explain it, to find it. Now, a defense, of course, usually application level defense, secure development of practice, secure site start with secure code, search feed and form must validate input so they can't be abused. Think of a search form like a librarian who looks up books on request. If the librarian has a clear rule like only search for title under 50 character, they can respond quickly. Without rule in place, someone could ask the librarian to search for an overly long or strange title. So challenge, for example, the challenge is we're talking about the reCAPTCHA. You have Google reCAPTCHA, or you can use Cloudflare. I forgot what's the name of the Cloudflare website. Can also use JavaScript challenge, which run quietly in the background to confirm if the visitor is real user or automated traffic. Network abstract and defense, we're talking mostly about CDN, content delivery network. CDN help manage server load by caching and saving content from edge server closer to user. Uh, Here's an example of 16 terabyte DDoS attack displayed in the Cloudflare CDN dashboard. It is very big. Total bandwidth of over a 30-day period. This shows the entire traffic volume of the last 30 days. If your site normally sees few hundred gigabyte a month, suddenly sees 16 terabyte. Total cached bandwidth by CDN edge server traffic spike from the DOS attack. Beyond absorbing traffic, CDN also provide analysts with a powerful visibility, include helpful visual and diagnostic of website traffic. This lets you quickly break down requests by geographic location, volume, and source pattern, helping distinguish malicious traffic from legitimate users. Web application firewall, this is also very important. CDN type to integrate WAF in an effort to shield their customer servers. They inspect incoming traffic and either allow, challenge, or block requests. For example, here your DOS protection WAF rule: if path equal login.php and the request is greater than 5 per minute, block. Uh, Large scale mitigation: modern defense solution can block denial of service attack and also leverage their vast distributed infrastructure to absorb and balance large volume traffic. In 2000, for example, 2023, Google mitigated a large scale DDoS attack that peaked at 398 million requests per second. Cloudflare claimed to have mitigated the largest DDoS ever recorded, which peaked at 11.5 TPS and lasted only 35 seconds. Bypassing security measure, while CDN, caching, and WAF provide strong protection, attackers often attempt to bypass these defenses. One technique is appending random query parameter. This is to bypass CDN, for example, server cache your products, but if an attacker append a query with a random string like products, exclamation A equal ABCD, your CDN can't serve it. So it's a game of cat and mouse. What type of security challenge? This one is captcha. We already talked about it. And which captcha? And then which CDN feature spread traffic across multiple servers? This one is load balancing. I think load balancing. And then we have conclusion. A conclusion: this room we explore different type of denial of service attack, how they work, and the motive behind them. Supported by some real-world example, you practice identify DOS and DDoS activity in web server logs by analyzing common indicator and learn how SIEM platform help analysis investigate and manage large volume of traffic. Through a hand-on Splunk exercise, you uncovered evidence of DDoS attack. Finally, you examine how CDN and WAFs can help defense website and application against these attacks. And that's a good room. So I like the Splunk one. Thank you everybody. For if you have question, let me in the comment, and yeah, please like, subscribe, and thank you very much and have a good day.